What is up, guys? It's been a while, but I have more art stuff and it's probably better. I'm going to show you something I randomly discovered out of complete boredom. So, I'm gonna just quickly make a new layer. Oh, no, I don't want to do that. Stop. I'm gonna name this I instead of a question mark I, and then I'm gonna get rid of this layer. So basically, yeah. Okay, so I basically just turn all this stuff on. If you use a mouse, this will do literally nothing for you, because it's pen pressure, which means I can do this. That's the fun of tablets. So, anyways, this is a weird thing I discovered is me being able to just out of nowhere draw an eye, apparently. And that's basically essentially an eye. There are two different eyes, but that's essentially how you can apparently draw eyes. Actually, if I move this like this, that looks very stupid. I'm just gonna say that right now. That looks very, very stupid to have both those eyes like that. I'll show you how you're supposed to probably. This is generally a better idea of how to draw eyes. It's usually it's better to work on a canvas. I'm going to turn off all those so I can work with it a little bit differently. Gosh. I messed up the flow, I think. I think it was this. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, like if you wanted to draw an eye, usually you'd start with a circle. A very, very iffy circle. It doesn't matter. It's how the eye is gonna look. And then you make a new layer. Get a different color. Drop the opacity on this layer. And then you can scroll in for more details. Also, change brush size so you can get more details as well. And then you would probably have this because of creases to make the eye look more 3D or like more realistic. And that would be the under part for your bottom eyelid. This would be the top part for your top eyelid, for the top part of your eyelid. And then here would be the rest of your eyelid. And then your brow line would be around this area. And then I can drop the opacity to like 13. Drop this opacity. New layer. It's best to make new layers whenever you're working on stuff like this. I have no idea why I'm doing a tutorial out of the blue, but I'm just gonna do a tutorial because, you know, tutorials are fun. And then you can go. I'm actually just gonna call this main outline. It's best to name your layers so you actually know what they are. I don't know why I do underscores all the time, but it's become a habit. So, wait, why are you? I don't know what's going on. I'm on the wrong layer. Also pay attention to that because you might screw yourself over with what layers you're working on. And then this would be basically the line work of the eye. I'm actually going to make my gray a little bit darker so I can see better. And then I'll continue to color this in. Irises are not perfectly round, so it's fine if you're not like a dot. Like a perfect circle, I mean. Because if it's a perfect circle, it doesn't feel as realistic. Alright, so once you've done this, usually I don't do things this, oh gosh. So, you know eyes are shaded. Well, everyone knows eyes are shaded. So sometimes what I normally do, or what I've done before, more recently, is this. Just completely covered in black. And then, because it's on a different layer, I can always change the opacity. And then I'd make a new layer. I don't even rename it because I'm just going to merge them down after. And then just do this multiple times. If you don't like how it's blending because of how you did it, you can go in with a smudge tool or a blur tool and just fix it up. Also, if you find the eye itself is too bright, you can always go and adjust the hue and saturation and make it like a lot darker and still have that shading. Or you can make it a lot brighter if you didn't like how much darker you did it. So, I'm gonna make it a little bit darker than it was before. And then, if you don't want to get confused, you can always put these in folders. You don't have to, but that's also a thing for organization because it's very easy to get lost in your own thing. Yeah, with lighting, normally what I do is this. This is what I would normally do with shading. And that would be basically the eye lighting. Once I've added the lighting, it already looks more realistic, and I could always dim down the lighting if need be, but I currently don't have to. One thing I might do is smudge this a little. Oh gosh, I don't like that. Undo the smudge. One thing I might do is actually smudge the interior of it to blend it a little bit more. The main outline, it does seem very dark, but that's fine for now. You can't, like I say, you can always go into the opacity and change it. Anyways, we are going to work on the iris. The pupil is always left alone since, well, obvious reasons. Actually, I'm going to need 2 layers. And this one's going to be called details. Because eyes are not just blank. And I'm pretty sure everyone knows that, so I just said the obvious. So the shading I'll do is more of just around the eye. And then that would basically be my shading. Now I need to go into my details. I'll bring up the opacity and drop the size. You can also drop the size by using arrows and hitting up and down. And then once you're satisfied with it, I'm currently not too terribly satisfied with it. I mean, it looks better. Something I will do is drop the opacity and then make a new layer and basically repeat the process. And that would be basically the detail for my eye. I need to make a new layer here and do the eyelashes real quick. One thing you could do is rotate it. Say, if I want to do that, it makes it a lot easier to do the curvature of the eyelashes. So that would be basically the eyelashes. And then if you want to reset it, all you have to do is reset view, and you're done. Well, with the tilting. There's also the eyelashes down here that people don't necessarily notice too terribly easily, but they are there. Not in the plenty, but they are there. Once I got all that, something I could do is lower the opacity, even though you don't necessarily need to. I would just lower it by very slight amount, so you could still see through it, but not as much. As for this, and we'll drop the opacity by a little. So if you're curious, the tablet I am using is a Wacom tablet. And Intuos Wacom tablet medium, because small is just not feasible for my program. And I'm just basically doing this off of memory, almost. So if I got it a little bit wrong, it's fine. I'm not using a reference, and I will recommend people to use reference instead of what I'm currently doing. As reference is basically going to be the thing you're going to want to use all the time. Like, for example, this shading looks a bit too dark, so if I wanted to, I could just do that and make it look a lot neater. Well, not as dark. And one other thing is, I mean, you don't necessarily have to stop at this eye. One thing you could do is, I'm just going to do this right now before I finish this off, just to give this a more complete look. I'm just going to do the shading. I was thinking, you could do details by just changing like a brush style, like, and it might take you a bit to get it to the same color, but you could do this for a little bit of texture. Which means this over here I messed up. And then you can change the opacity and there's a little bit of texture. But I'm not doing that, so I can just delete that layer. And then that would like kind of just be the shading for that. One thing you could do if you don't want to mess it up, you could do a Gaussian blur. And then if I hit OK, I want to deselect. It would look something like this. And also with eyebrows, you can say like their hair color was like a dark color. So what you would do is just make it a little bit darker than the hair color you want it to be. And then you could just follow this. And that right there is how you would properly draw the eye. Not this. Not this. Sure, it might look or that. There. You have to freeze transform it. And then there you go. So these two ways are not how you draw eyes, that's just laziness. This is how you draw an eye. Anyways, I don't know if this actually helps you guys, but yeah. That's how you draw eyes in Photoshop.